So Call of Duty Vanguard was the predecessor to Black Ops Cold War, and it was received with a lot of hate from the start. You see, the hype for Vanguard just wasn't there, and it was sort of another World War II game that we already had, and a lot of people just weren't interested in this game. It wasn't as hyped as the two predecessors, Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019, and it ultimately was a failure because it sold 40% less than Black Ops Cold War, which is hard to believe. Now, why did Vanguard fail? Now, this is the question I'm going to be answering in this video, so sit back, relax, eat a snack, and let's get to it. Now, the campaign of Vanguard was probably the worst campaign I ever played in a Call of Duty. Now, it took me some time to sort of cast my opinion on the campaign, but I feel like that's the best way I could explain it, and I honestly feel confident in my answer. Now, some of you guys might be asking yourself, why is it such a campaign? What makes it the worst in the whole entire Call of Duty franchise? And with that, I have two answers. One, there wasn't really any character that really was amazing about this story. There were just multiple characters, and it felt overwhelming. And two, there wasn't really like a plot that was really there to push the story forward or to give the player something to exactly care about. You see, half of the story is just straight flashback of these characters, and I get it, you want to give us more of a personal connection to these characters, and you want us to know who they are and the reason that they're basically in Task Force Vanguard, and that is completely fine to me. And honestly, when that's just 95% of the game, that just sort of gets really overwhelming and sort of annoying, because like, what is the real plot of the story? The plot of the story is the bad guy, and we barely even see him throughout the whole entire Vanguard campaign. And okay, the whole concept of Task Force Vanguard is working as a team, and we don't really see that until like maybe the first and literally the last mission. Like, they're supposed to be a team that has good chemistry, and on top of that are total badasses, yet the whole entire story makes them feel like they're not. See, I think that's where the story really fails. It just doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be like an origin story, a flashback story, or does it want to be like a team story? You see, I think you can have multiple characters that people like and that come together and that's actually epic. I mean, look at the Modern Warfare and even the Black Ops franchise. But you see here, it was sort of just like forced, and it was like, yeah, this is Task Force Vanguard, and then just so many things happen and they want you to know these characters a little bit more into depth, and that's not really something that's, you know, gonna keep the player's attention. And to me personally, their chemistry just sort of feels forced, and the only character that I actually really liked and really felt sad for was Polina Petrova. But okay, characters aside, what about the bad guy? I mean, Freisinger was barely even in the campaign itself, and on top of that, when he did get what he wanted, which was basically to be the leader, he sort of just had it for like basically 15 to like 20 minutes before Task Force Vanguard killed him. Now, this sort of raises another question. What's the point of having Freisinger in the campaign at all? I mean, just to have a bad guy? To me, that just seems a little bit lazy, and that's something that's wrong with this campaign. It was just a lot of lazy writing. And don't get me wrong, like, I love flashbacks. I think they're very important and they give you a lot of context to the story, but doesn't push the plot forward, which I think is the major issue with Vanguard. The plot doesn't get pushed until something huge happens, which is basically the beginning and the end. This is sort of disappointing to me because I really do love the stories of each and every COD, even the bad ones, including like Infinite Warfare. It had a phenomenal story, and that's something that I really look forward to. To me, it's just disappointing that this COD just fell short on the campaign. At least they could have had that be one of the strong points in the $60 price tag. But overall, that is my opinion on the campaign. Now, the zombies mode, I won't spend too much time on this because I didn't play it, and I think that's pretty prevalent because it is really bad. And to me, this is really surprising coming off the Black Ops Cold War zombies mode, which was very, very beloved amongst the community. For the zombies on Vanguard, it was just one map. It wasn't even a round-based map on top of that, and there was no Easter egg or anything, and it was just so weird. See, Treyarch was the one developing the zombies game mode, and for them, I just don't think they had enough time to really make that much content for Vanguard. And a lot of my friends and peers in the community just told me don't even look or even try the zombies mode, and after seeing some gameplay, I can definitely tell you I saved myself from a bullet. Now, there's one way I can describe the zombies mode in Vanguard, and that is, let's say you go to a grocery store and you go and you see that there's Sprite and there's 7-Up. Then you see the brand Upright, and it's a cheaper version of Sprite and 7-Up, aka the knockoff version, and that is what Vanguard Zombies is. It's the knockoff cheap version of of the original zombies that we liked, and this is just very disappointing for the zombies community. You see, this sort of taints the $60 price tag because the campaign wasn't even that good, and the zombies is just, I don't even know, like beyond terrible. If I bought this game only for zombies, I think I would be upset and just return it, because at that point you're just paying for absolutely nothing, not even a full game. I mean, let's be honest, even Infinite Warfare zombies was 30 times better than Vanguard zombies, and that's very, very disappointing. This is just another reason why people don't like Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, in my personal opinion, I think this is the best mode out of all three that come with the game. Now, you see, with multiplayer, it just seemed more polished. It had a lot more maps, and it just had a better off launch. However, I don't see a lot of people really playing Vanguard anymore, and that just leads me to another question, like what really happened to the multiplayer? In my personal opinion, it was way better than Black Ops Cold War multiplayer by miles. It just feels smooth, and it just feels very, very good. And you have the option to play how you want with like Blitz and all that stuff, and that was actually very helpful in this multiplayer. And to be quite honest, the maps themselves were very well constructed, very polished, and on top of that flowed really well. But I don't know if I can classify this Call of Duty's multiplayer better than Modern Warfare's multiplayer, but I can definitely say it's better than Black Ops Cold War. And I didn't know why. Like, this game did everything that Modern Warfare did wrong, like it improved on it, but then I was just like, why do I think Modern Warfare is a better game? And to me personally, I think this multiplayer has two major flaws to it that I think as to why this multiplayer just got boring for me. And it all just comes down to the setting and the gun grinding of this game. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I do not have 5 to 6 hours each day to sit there and max out every gun in Vanguard. That's just too absurd, and I would just honestly lose my sanity if that was the case, but that's what they did to the guns in this game. And honestly, to me, that just shows that they were prioritizing Warzone over this game, because obviously the guns are integrated within the Warzone Battle Royale. And the issue really arises that, let's say a gun gets meta in Warzone and you don't have it ranked up, well, there you go. You have to spend 5 to 6 hours to now rank up this weapon in Vanguard, and now it's just a whole cycle of trying to level up your weapon, and it's just straight misery at that point. And it's pretty prevalent that Activision wants to keep that and just doesn't want to fix it or even allow people to even remotely level up their weapons as fast as, let's say, Black Ops Cold War or Modern Warfare. And honestly, the setting, I mean, they should have just not made this game World War II, because they already made a game in World War II and it failed. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the World War II theme, and as far as it goes, it's not as interesting as the modern day theme. With the modern day theme, you could definitely introduce more guns, more kill streaks, and other things that can sort of be structuralized in that modern day warfare. With World War II, it's sort of just limited to what you're working with, and I think that's all Sledgehammer does know how to do, is just make World War II games, but they haven't been really successful. I mean, when the community heard that Vanguard was going to be a World War II game, everyone just automatically signed off of Warzone and nobody wanted it. Personally, I try to keep an open mind, but I can definitely see where they're coming from now in hindsight. I also just try not to let nostalgia or anything like that cloud my judgment when judging Vanguard, because I know Modern Warfare came out at a time when COVID-19 was sort of having its outbreak. But I don't think Vanguard's multiplayer is bad. I just don't think it's as good as Modern Warfare 2019, and that's my personal opinion on this multiplayer. Overall, we discussed a lot in this video about Vanguard, and I think it's very important to sort of talk about how we feel as the community with these games so that they can get better. With Microsoft buying over Call of Duty, I feel like there's more potential for there to be more quality of Call of Duties rather than quantity of them. Look, if you enjoy Vanguard, play it, play your heart out to it. Don't listen to what anybody else says, but for me personally, if I had to go back in time, I definitely would not have bought this game, and I would have just waited for a sale that's like 20 bucks. Overall, this is the reason why people don't like Call of Duty Vanguard. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This has been your boy Beast, and I'll see you guys in the next video.